Time fractured at 3:07 a.m. Doom had the stone, and a plan no one could predict. Logan woke in the ruins of New York, his claws already drawn, but his memories scattered. Everyone he knew was either dead or never born. 5 minutes. That's all the time Stone gave him. 5 minutes to stop Doom from rewriting existence. 5 minutes to kill the man who couldn't be touched. Reality collapsed in waves, each one swallowing timelines and names. And Logan ran, not to survive, but to erase his final mistake. The sky wasn't supposed to turn green. It started with a flicker, like bad static across the skyline of New York, but this wasn't storm. This was time breaking. And Logan knew it in his bones, deep beneath the adamantium, where instincts whispered warnings before words could form. Somewhere far off, the world slowed, buckled, and then snapped. He didn't remember blacking out, but when he opened his eyes, the city was gone. Not destroyed, gone. Like it had never existed. Concrete replaced with ash, buildings erased from time, and not a single soul around. Just the silence of a world mid-erasure. His claws slid out on instinct, humming with heat. Something was wrong. Reality was bleeding. And that's when it hit him. A pulse, cold and slow, surging up his spine. A symbol appeared, glowing green on the inside of his wrist. Not a tattoo. A countdown. 4:59. He didn't know who gave it to him. He didn't care. All that mattered was that number. Then the voice came. 5 minutes, Logan. Doom has the stone. And if you don't stop him, this becomes permanent. He didn't recognize the voice, but the urgency felt real. Heavy. Cosmic. Like the kind of thing only someone like Strange or the Watcher would say right before the multiverse collapsed. And then came the screams. But not from people. From time itself. Staggering forward, Logan moved through a city frozen mid-existence. Trees stuck halfway through their bloom. Birds paused mid-flap like paintings. Cars hovering inches off the ground. Like someone hit pause on the universe. And in the center of it all, a spiraling vortex of green, purple, and gold, stretching upward into the clouds. At the heart of that vortex, Logan saw him. Victor Von Doom, floating, arms raised, cloak tearing from wind that didn't exist. And on his gauntlet, glowing like a cursed heart, was the time stone. Not just held, fused into his hand, feeding on him like it chose him, not the other way around. Doom wasn't traveling through time. He was rewriting it, erasing the parts he hated, replacing the rest with his will. Mutants? Gone. Camartage? Crumbled. Wakanda? Folded into Latveria centuries ago. The Avengers? Split at birth. Never formed. The timeline wasn't just shifting. It was being reauthored. And Logan, somehow, someway, was immune. The countdown on his wrist was proof. 4:17. He didn't wait. He ran, sprinting through frozen time, dodging phantoms of things that had never been, alternate versions of heroes that shouldn't exist. A Spider-Man with no face, a cap shield forged in Hydra, an Iron Man suit carrying Doom's insignia, and they were all in his way. Doom's defense system wasn't technology. It was time itself, weaponized. Every step Logan took forward, the world threw history at him. Ghosts of wars that never happened. Versions of himself that failed, that begged him to turn around. One even called out, older, broken, missing an arm. You don't make it. None of us do. Logan didn't stop. Because if Doom rewrote Weapon X, there'd be no Logan. No pain. No redemption. No claws. And that meant no one would be left to stop him. The climb toward Doom's vortex was like cutting through a dream laced with venom. Time cracked under his feet, reshaping every few seconds. He fought versions of enemies long dead, Omega Red enhanced by Ultron, a Sabretooth made entirely of shadows, a Juggernaut possessed by Dormammu. All of them illusions, all of them programmed to stall him. And then Doom saw him. The vortex slowed. The sky dimmed. Doom's eyes locked on Logan like he'd been expecting him the whole time. You're the anomaly, Doom said, voice thundering like gods tearing contracts. Of all timelines, you persist. Logan didn't answer. He launched. Claws first. rage sharper than steel. But the moment he got close, Doom flicked a finger and stopped time around Logan, freezing the air, locking his body in stasis. Your pain, your trauma, your endless cycle of guilt, it's what protects you, Doom said, walking around him like a man inspecting a wild animal. The stone rejects paradoxes, and you're one walking contradiction. Time resumed. Logan fell hard, rolled, came up swinging, slashing through Doom's cloak and drawing sparks off his armor. Doom didn't flinch. Instead, he raised the gauntlet. The time stone pulsed, and Logan was flung through centuries in the blink of an eye. One moment, he was in 1945, facing Hydra soldiers with laser cannons. The next, he was knee-deep in a war between Atlanteans and Kree. Then he was standing in front of Jean Grey, just before she burned the world as Dark Phoenix. Logan's body stayed in place, but his mind, his soul, was being dragged across timelines, showing him every mistake, every failure, every moment he wished he could change. But the countdown kept going. 249. He clawed his way back, through time, through trauma, through versions of himself that had given up. Back to Doom, back to the now, back to the only place that mattered. And when he landed, body scorched, bones rattling, Doom turned, eyes wide. "You're not supposed to come back," he said. Logan smiled, blood dripping from his teeth. "Yeah, well, I'm used to doing what I'm not supposed to." Doom didn't wait this time. The moment Logan stood, Doom unleashed a wave of fractured time, moments from 1,000 timelines collapsing inward, turning space into a storm of memory and ruin. Buildings rose and crumbled in seconds. Lightning struck backward. Planes flew in reverse through flaming skies. But Logan kept moving, because the countdown had hit 231. And this wasn't a fight anymore. This was the last breath of everything. Doom hurled a reality fragment, a spinning mass of compressed futures, filled with alternate versions of Logan screaming in agony. They weren't illusions. They were real. Hundreds of them, dying, repeating. "You can't save them," Doom growled. "You can't even save yourself." But Logan charged straight through the fragment, claws igniting in sparks, slicing the echo of his own failure in half. He didn't care who he used to be. He only cared about one thing: stopping Doom from turning pain into power. The time stone flared again, but it was unstable. Doom's body jerked, flickered. He was absorbing more than even he could handle. His armor cracked in places. His mask glitched, flashing between his face, strange, and someone else. "You weren't the only backup plan," Doom snarled. "The multiverse gave me more than power. It gave me insight." And behind him, a figure emerged. Not another hero. A second Doom. Younger, hungrier, from a future that never happened. A Doom who never lost, who merged tech, magic, and mutant DNA into a single god-tier form. Logan didn't hesitate. He didn't have time to hesitate. He leapt, tackling the second Doom midair, sending them both tumbling into a collapsing tower made of pure timeline threads. The impact shattered centuries. Every floor they crashed through showed Logan another path he never walked, a daughter he never knew, a peaceful cabin in Alberta, a world where Jean lived. He hated it. Hope was the worst weapon Doom could have used. But Logan focused, claws in, eyes locked. He drove them deep into future Doom's core, right where the stone signature was being siphoned. The clone screamed, not in pain, but in protest. Like Logan had violated something sacred. His eyes pulsed green, and then gone. No flash, no scream, just dust. A kill so fast the timeline didn't even have time to grieve. Logan stood, breathing heavy. 158. Doom was waiting. No speeches this time. No posturing. Just rage. He hit Logan with a pulse of time so violent, it erased his left arm for 2 full seconds before reality caught up and rebuilt it. The pain almost dropped him. But Logan had felt worse. "You're just a man with a watch," Doom hissed. "I am time itself." Logan grinned. "Then you're just a clock waiting to break." He sprinted, claws out, dragging sparks through the ground. Doom summoned a barrier made of frozen timelines, each one a memory trap. Logan ran straight through them. Jean, Charles, Scott, Laura. They all reached for him, cried out, asked him to stay. But he couldn't. He wouldn't. Because Doom's time stone was starting to spin faster, like it was preparing for a final overwrite. Logan could feel it in the air. Every breath tasted thinner. The world was losing its place. 112. He was running out of road. So he did what Logan always did. He stopped holding back. With a roar that cracked the illusion of space, Logan launched himself through the last barrier, claws slicing through raw chronal energy. Through the shell of protection Doom thought was absolute. He tackled Doom to the ground. The impact knocked the stone loose for a second, just a second, but Logan reached for it, and his hand burned. The stone rejected him instantly, sending fire through his veins, showing him all the things he'd never done right. Every mistake, every death, every friend buried, every enemy he spared. The stone tried to break him with truth. But Logan had made peace with pain a long time ago. He grabbed it again, held it, and screamed. Because if it wanted to show him hell, fine. He'd claw his way through it. The stone's magic writhed against his grip, trying to merge with him, overwrite him. But he didn't want power. He didn't want control. He just wanted it to stop. 037. Behind him, Doom rose, broken, bleeding, furious. He threw a spell meant to erase Logan from history entirely. But the stone pulsed. Logan turned, and the spell hit both of them. Time shattered, not into dust, into choice. Suddenly, Logan stood in a white space. No sound, no pain, just possibilities. Every version of him that ever existed, from samurai to space ranger, stood around him. And all of them spoke with one voice. You can leave, rest, be free, or go back, alone, in pain, to stop what still hasn't ended. He didn't even think. He chose the pain. The moment he stepped back into the timeline, the stone flared one last time. It exploded, not outward, but inward, dragging Doom with it, swallowing his legacy into a vortex of infinite resets. Gone, for good. And Logan? He collapsed. The stone vanished. The sky cleared. Time restarted. But Logan was gone. No body, no blood, just his tag, buried in the concrete at the site where the vortex had vanished. People would come to call it the second zero, a place where time paused. And a man with no reason to keep fighting fought anyway, just long enough to save everyone else. The world moved again. Birds flew. Winds blew. Children laughed. Somewhere, a song played on an old radio, like nothing had ever happened. But something had, and deep down, the world knew it. The vortex was gone. Doom was gone. The time stone no longer existed in this timeline. But something was missing, something the world couldn't name. People paused at odd moments, glancing around like they'd forgotten a word they never knew. A sense of absence lingered, sharp and quiet. And then the dreams began. Across the globe, heroes started seeing a man. Tall, grizzled, broken, claws like razors, eyes full of regret, carrying the weight of thousands of battles. And none of them remembered his name. But they felt him, in the way Cyclops hesitated before issuing an order, in the way Storm looked at the sky like it should be sadder, in the way Charles Xavier woke up screaming, "We left him behind." Only no one knew who he was, because Logan never existed here. The reset wiped him clean, but time, even rewritten, doesn't forget easily. Buried beneath the mansion ruins in upstate New York, something pulsed. A dog tag. It vibrated once every hour. A ripple in space-time, gentle but persistent. The tag refused to let go. Not of him, not of what he'd done. And far away, in Latveria's ruins, a backup protocol triggered. Doom's AI, fused with remnants of multiversal data, activated a failsafe. Not to revive him, to warn whoever found it. The log was short. Subject, Wolverine. Anomaly class, Omega unstable. Detected during final rewrite. Immune to time collapse. Solution attempted. Erasure. Outcome, failure. Recommendation, containment impossible. Status, missing. It was supposed to be impossible, but anomalies don't follow rules. In a black void between timelines, Logan was still breathing. His body floated in nothing, but his soul clung to the only thing left: purpose. He wasn't dead. He was stuck, held in the echo of time, the stone created before imploding. A subspace pocket. No future, no past, just fragments. Logan floated through shattered realities, memories that didn't belong to him, versions of events he'd never lived. 1 second, he was a villain. The next, a king. Then a father. Then a monster. Then a god. Then dust. But none of it was real. He snarled, fought, screamed, until the fragments spoke back. They didn't offer escape. They offered a deal. A piece of the time stone remained, buried in the center of that void. But it was raw, wild, alive. It offered him a way out. One condition: he'd never be remembered. Not in this timeline. Not in any. He could exist again, but only as a shadow outside continuity. A silent protector. A ghost between worlds. Logan stared into the crystal shard. He didn't speak. He just reached for it. And time bent. Not back. Sideways. A fissure tore through the multiverse. Subtle. Unseen. A ripple moving through forgotten corners. In one world, Daredevil paused mid-fight, sensing something in the dark. In another, Batman looked up from a rooftop, eyes narrowing at a change in wind that wasn't wind at all. Something was moving between stories. A man with no home, no name, no past, only claws and pain. Back in Earth 616, the X-Men regrouped. Strange had no memory of Logan, but the eye of Agamotto flickered unnaturally when he passed the upstate ruins. And Charles was losing control. Every time he tried to look into the past, his mind broke. He could see flashes. A man screaming in a tank. Snow, steel, blood, fire. A hand reaching for him through smoke. But no name, no voice. Until one night, in the deepest part of his dreams, he heard a whisper. "Don't bring me back. Just keep them safe." He woke up crying. Elsewhere, a new villain rose. Not Doom. Worse. A hybrid from another timeline. Part mutant, part machine. Forged in a collapsed universe. It called itself Epic. And it had only one mission. Undo the reset. Because Epic remembered Logan. Not just who he was, but what he did. And it wanted him unerased. Not to save him. To kill him. Properly. Permanently. Epic's arrival tore rifts through dimensions. He cracked worlds just to find traces. In one, he fought a team of Avengers that had never formed. In another, he slaughtered a future X-Men group within 12 seconds. In a third, he found a trace, a sliver of blood in an abandoned vault labeled Project Berserker. And smiled, because Logan wasn't gone, just displaced. Epic set a trap, and Logan, ghost or not, felt it. He stepped through the void, claws extended, no words, only war in his eyes. And as he emerged into that broken world, Epic turned, grinning. "Found you." Logan's voice was gravel. "Took you long enough." Epic laughed. "You're out of place. You don't belong anywhere." Logan rolled his shoulders. "Good. Then I've got nothing to lose." And in that moment, the timeline trembled again. Not in fear, in anticipation. Because Wolverine was back. But no one would remember. No one would thank him. And still he fought. Epic struck first. A blur of chrome and fractured code, moving like corrupted lightning. Logan didn't flinch. The first hit should have torn a lesser man in half, but Logan wasn't a man anymore. He was a scar the timeline couldn't close. Claws met entropy. The world they fought in wasn't real. Just another decaying timeline Epic had hijacked and twisted into a trap. Shattered buildings, frozen suns, bleeding moons. Reality here had already folded. But for two things that didn't belong anywhere, it was home enough. Epic's body glitched as it moved, swapping between versions of itself. 1 second it was pure machine. The next it looked like a twisted fusion of Nimrod and Apocalypse, with remnants of Kang's armor stitched across its chest. "I'm not just from the future," Epic said. "I am every failed one." Logan didn't answer. He never did. The claws came down, and Epic screamed, not in pain, but in calculation. Adapting. Every slash Logan delivered, Epic learned, adjusted, became immune. But Logan wasn't trying to kill him yet. He was testing limits. He'd fought gods. He'd been torn apart by sentinels, nuked, erased, and still found a way to crawl back. But Epic was different. Not just a threat to him, a threat to everything. Because Epic didn't want power. He wanted to bring back the broken timelines. All of them. Simultaneously. It was madness. Pure collapse. A multiverse stuffed with every version of every event. All fighting for dominance. No rules. No balance. No peace. And somewhere inside Epic's core, a familiar pulse. A remnant of the Time Stone. The same fragment Logan had touched. Somehow, Epic had pulled another piece through. A mirror to Logan's own tether to existence. That's why the universe hadn't deleted either of them. They were locked in paradox. The only way out? One had to die. Epic smiled as the sky above them cracked open, revealing a collapsing celestial body. A black sun eating itself. The end of time has already started. You're just late to it. Logan took a breath, steady. He looked around, saw versions of himself flickering in and out of corners. Broken clones, forgotten echoes, failed rebirths. They didn't speak. They didn't need to. They all stepped forward. Logan wasn't alone. Not here. Every discarded Logan, every erased Wolverine, every variant that had been cut from continuity when Doom rewrote the multiverse. They'd found their way to this fracture, drawn to the same tether Logan now carried in his blood. One Logan cracked his knuckles. His mask was torn. His eyes burned blue. Another rolled his neck, dragging twin blades across the ground. Bones, not metal. A third floated above the ground entirely, wrapped in white flames. Phoenix Logan, forgotten by the cosmos. Epic's eyes widened. No, that's not how this ends. But Logan just nodded. It is now. They charged. Epic unleashed a wave of anti-time. A scream of collapsing hours and deleted moments. One by one, the Logans fell, but not before carving pieces off him. Bleeding timelines. Cutting through layers of armor that weren't made of metal, but moments. Each version that died made the real Logan faster, sharper, angrier, until it was just him. One claw missing, blood leaking from both eyes, limbs heavy, but still standing. Epic was half a shadow, glitching between forms, leaking code and fire. And Logan walked, slow, silent, like death made of flesh and regret. Epic fell to one knee, trying to reprogram itself, pulling data from collapsed futures. Why do you even care? It rasped. They don't remember you. You're a ghost. Logan's voice was low. That's the point. I don't need them to remember. He raised his claws. I just need them to live. And then silence. One final slash. A clean cut through the tether connecting Epic to the time shard. And everything stopped. The black sun froze. The sky healed. The broken echoes of dead timelines fell silent. Epic was gone, not just dead, but deleted. Its code unraveled, devoured by the very paradox it tried to control. Logan dropped to his knees. He didn't speak, didn't cry, just breathed, and waited for time to claim him again. But it didn't. Something had changed. The paradox was gone. The loop was broken. The stone's tether faded. And now he could die. Truly die. Finally. But before he could close his eyes, the world shimmered. A hand reached out from the void. Small, gloved, familiar. Charles Xavier. Or a version of him. Not the one Logan had known, but close enough. You're not forgotten, Charles said, voice quiet. Logan blinked. You remember? I dreamed of you. Every night. My whole life. Charles reached into his coat, held out a new tag. Not with Logan's name, but his purpose. Protector of lost time. You can go now, Charles whispered. You've done enough. Logan stared at the tag, then shook his head. I ain't done. He stood. The wounds stayed. The scars stayed. But the pain eased. Because this time, he wasn't a ghost. He was something worse, something better. A myth they'd remember without knowing why. A guardian in the dark. A warning to those who tried to rewrite fate. And somewhere in every reality, at the edge of every timeline, a name passed between lips and dreams, never spoken aloud. Logan, the man who bled so time could heal. Time moved on, but not for Logan. Not really. Across realities, he became the anomaly that never settled. The man who never stayed. When gods broke their own rules, when timelines cracked, when forgotten villains whispered curses into the multiverse, Logan was already on his way. He didn't live in a mansion, didn't wear a team logo, didn't answer to Charles or Fury or anyone. He moved between worlds through the cracks only he could feel, pulled by echoes no one else could hear. When a version of Spider-Man died in a timeline that shouldn't exist, Logan was there to make sure it ended clean. When a baby phoenix screamed into existence on a shattered moon, Logan wrapped her in a cloak of lost time and carried her into silence. When Ultron Prime uploaded himself into the bones of Asgard, Logan dragged his claws across the sky and shut it down without a word. No fanfare, no medals, no recognition, just blood and peace. One timeline at a time. But even myths need rest. And so one night, in a world that had never known war, under a sky untouched by gods or science, Logan sat beneath a tree that never bloomed. His claws were dull now, his breath shallow. He looked out across a field of stars, eyes tired, but not sad. Because for once, everything was quiet. A soft breeze carried a voice. Not real, but familiar. Jean, not calling him back, just letting him go. He reached into his coat, pulled out the tag. Not the old one, the new one. Protector of lost time. He stared at it, then tossed it into the wind, and smiled. His body faded, not in pain, not in fire, but like mist leaving the earth. No scream, no sound, just one word written across timelines. Logan. And this time, they all remembered. End.